please, allow me to show you something.
Welcome to another bonus edition in our One Great Hand series. The final of the Soloway Teams event in the 2022 Fall Nationals in Phoenix was contested by the Street team, consisting of Paul Street and his teammates, the names of whom I trust you to read more than I trust myself to pronounce, and the Cope team, Simon himself, Kevin Rosenberg, Ishmael Del Monte, and Finn Kolesnik. Over the course of 3 videos, Simon will discuss 6 interesting hands from the final with expert interviewer Nick Sandqvist.
Hi Simon, how are you? You had a great result in America again.
Hi Nick, yeah, thanks. Nice to see you. Yeah, I had a very, very good, very successful 10 days. Slightly surprisingly successful, I guess, in some ways, but certainly, you know, I was playing on a team that I knew we had a chance to do well.
Absolutely. So you won the Soloway Teams, right? Now it's not really considered the main event in the Fall Nationals, but is it the biggest imp scored event?
I actually think it is. I think the Fall Nationals is considered now to have 2 main events, basically.
Okay.
In that, I would say the Soloway has a sort of similar standing to the Risinger. The Risinger is border match and was always traditionally the biggest event of the Fall Nationals. But the problem is the Risinger only lasts 3 days.
Yeah.
And that's the main reason I think that they introduced another event to run sort of before it. So the Soloway runs from the Friday, the first Friday, and the final takes place on the following Thursday.
Oh, so it's that long, so it's big. How many teams were there? Do you remember?
Yeah, so this year I think there were around 46 or 47 teams entered, and we played a 2-day Swiss, during which, to be honest, I played well. Kevin and I were not great, is to say. Our teammates sort of dragged us through the Swiss, kicking and screaming. And then the top 32 qualified, and then on Sunday we played a round of 32, and then every day you played, you know, the subsequent round as long as you stayed in.
Did you have any big scalps on the way? Tell me you had some big ones.
We had a few. I mean, kind of sadly for me, I played against some very good friends in the round of 2. We played against Nottenbelt's team, had sort of good friends of mine, David Gold, Zia, Tom Pask.
Yeah, but that's a good draw, right? It's basically a walk.
I wouldn't quite say that, but there were worse draws floating around. So we beat them, and then we in the round after that we played a good team put together by a Colombian who lives in Miami called Bernal, but it had Versace and Samantha playing throughout. So they were four-handed, the same as we were. So that was a good win. And the semi-final and the final, you know, were both sort of tough matches. I would say the semi-final was the hardest match on paper, probably, which was the Fleischer team. But yeah.
Yeah, that's a good team. Maybe I should have looked at that match instead. And I thought the final would be more fun.
Yeah.
This wasn't a professional arrangement. It was basically 4 mates getting together and playing. Or were you the sponsor because the team is called Cope? Were you sponsoring?
Yes, well, I wondered whether that might be considered a possibility. But no, contrary to some popular belief, we were just four mates playing some bridge together and sort of having a pretty enjoyable week.
Okay.
After that initial discussion, let's get on with the bridge. We join the action in the second quarter of the match at board 20, at which point the Cope team are trailing by 24 imps to 50.
You were sitting north and you opened with the 2-6-5 north. A second in hand, you open a heart, and they came in with 3 clubs. And what did Kevin do here?
So Kevin actually doubled. I mean, he had a tough hand, right, in sort of standard methods. I mean, double isn't perfect. You've got king 1 in their suit, and you've got 6 spades. Partner's not going to bid spades that often, but I think Kevin felt probably that it was the lesser of 2 evils, basically.
Well, we all know that if you want to do something, it's less dangerous to do something earlier. And also, if he passes and you find a takeout double, now he has to catch up with 4 spades, which is...
For sure, yeah. Yeah, I mean, from Kevin's perspective, I think he just felt pure and simple. Like, I mean, it could even go 3 clubs all pass and you could be making 4 spades, right? Yes. I mean, partner could be like 4-5, 1-3 or something, and they're not going to reopen with a minimum hand, and 4 spades is enormous. So I think Kevin probably felt that double was like not perfect, but it was the lesser of evils. He's got king 1 heart. If I bid 3 diamonds, he can put me back to 3 hearts.
Yep. No, I agree. It's
disaster.
better to do something early than to gamble on the pass. And then the next hand, you have 5 clubs, and you have to decide whether you should bid now or whether you should wait for partner to act again and then bid 5 diamonds. That's an interesting decision. How do you feel here?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like I had a pretty clear 5 diamond bid, to be honest with you, in my world. I mean, I felt like I don't know who makes what, right? They could be making 5 clubs for all I know. We could be making 5 of a red suit. I don't know what's going on. But I'm playing with Kevin Rosenberg. His father, Michael Rosenberg, says never pass with a void. So I can't pass playing with Kevin anyway. So, I mean, for me, I've got a void in the enemy suit that they've bid at the 3 level and raised at the 5 level vulnerable. So they're likely to have most of the top cards in that suit.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like we're playing a little bit with a 30-point deck. The points in clubs are going to be mostly in their hands. So whatever Kevin has got is going to be sort of probably well placed for me. And it could, on a bad day, be a double game swing.
Absolutely. How do you feel? Say that you pass and partner doubles again and you bid 5 diamonds. What do you think the difference is between those 2 auctions?
Well, I think I've bid sort of 5 diamonds more under duress on the second auction. I mean, if I pass 5 clubs, it's not forcing, right? I don't think we're in a force.
And because you could go pass on 5 clubs, you're just never going to pass 5 clubs, right?
Yeah, so I felt like I just couldn't, I felt like it was putting way too much pressure on Kevin to double again or to do something with a marginal hand. I'm the one with the void.
Yeah.
So I'm the one that has to sort of act pretty aggressively.
Yeah.
If I pass and it goes pass and Kevin doubles and I bid.
You're going to bid anyway, so why not bid in the first place?
I'm going to bid, but that way I'm making a less positive statement about my hand. I mean, we could be making a slam on this hand, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, give partner something like King to 5, stiff ace, Queen to 5, too low. I mean, that's not much of a hand, and we're claiming 6 diamonds.
Absolutely. No, so I agree with you. Ron decided against 5 diamonds to lead the ace of clubs, which is very reasonable. Obviously, if he had decided to lead the singleton 10 of hearts, they could have taken the first 4. But we do agree with not leading a singleton 10 of hearts in your first suit, right? I guess none of us would really do that, or would we?
I don't know, like I would consider it for sure, but I think it's such a big ask. I mean, you need partner to have one of the red aces for it to be right. This auction sounds so unlikely. I think the ace of clubs was fine.
And even if partner has one of the red aces, that's still only 2 tricks. So you probably need ace of clubs to stand up anyway for your third trick.
Yeah, so you might be able to cash the ace of clubs and then work out what to do. Sometimes on the ace of clubs, partner will be able to give a suit preference signal if there's a singleton club in the dummy or something like that. So I think the ace of clubs was like fine and a bit unlucky, basically.
Yeah, you certainly didn't mind at the table, right? That was one of the loveliest leads you've seen.
Yeah, I mean, especially given how the match had it felt like it had started. I was like, okay, finally, maybe these guys have done something wrong and we've done all right to get to 5 diamonds. Yeah. And, I sort of thought it might still be going down, obviously, because diamonds could be breaking badly.
Yeah.
Or hearts could be breaking badly without the 10 dropping. So it's not like I was home and hosed, but certainly
it looked nice. Simon Raft, and he went to the Queen of Diamonds and could pitch one of his spade losers on the King of Clubs. So he lost eventually only the Ace of Hearts and the Ace of Spades.
This hand at the other table, to me, actually shows how sort of interesting bridge is in that Finn Kolesnik actually made a bid I'm not particularly keen on.
Let's have a look first what happened. So North opened a heart, of course, and East bid 2 clubs. That's the bid you don't.
Yeah, I think 2 clubs is fine if partner's not a passed hand, because I feel like I'm too good for 3 clubs. But when partner's a passed hand, I've got a singleton heart.
It's more attractive to take away some space, isn't it?
Yeah. I think saying I don't like the bid is too strong a statement, but certainly I would have bid 3 clubs as Paxman did at our table. But 2 clubs sort of worked. Well, I don't know whether you'd say it worked well.
You could argue there's a style issue, but I agree with you. With my experience opposite the past hand, I'd rather take away bidding space and show something in the region of 7 clubs than 2 clubs, which could be many hands. What about South's 2 spade bid, Paul Street? Is it non-forcing for a starter?
I don't know whether it was non-forcing or not. I've no idea. I mean, to me, if it's not non-forcing, I don't know. If you put the King of Clubs in spades, so it gave me 2 low clubs and King to 6 spades, I would bid 2 spades because I would just feel like, whatever, I've got 6 spades.
I would tend to double anyway, because I am going to get another shot in this auction if I double. Whatever happens, I'm going to be able to bid spades later on. So you can put me down for a double. But I don't know. I mean, if two spades is non-forcing in their methods, then obviously he's perfectly fine to bid it. Or even not. I mean, the important thing that is...
I don't even know that I would bid... I'm not convinced I would bid two spades even if it was non-forcing. I mean, the spades are so bad. But then again... Whatever. He bid...
Then again, if you do pass, then you have to catch up when partner makes a takeout double. That's the thing. So now you probably have to jump in spades anyway.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's obviously a tricky hand.
Anyway, so West tried Turner trumps. North, Nick Lecuyer elected to rebid his hearts rather than show his diamond suit. I would have been very tempted to show diamonds at this point.
I don't understand three hearts.
No.
I don't understand it. For me, it's like a weird bid. I mean... To be honest, I mean, I've got a hand. We could belong in four spades as well. I mean,
absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, I've no idea. We could belong in nothing. We could belong in four spades. We could belong in five diamonds. Certainly, if two spades was natural and forcing, and it wasn't alerted by BBO, although sometimes the BBO record, it's fair to say, is not entirely accurate. But if two spades is natural and forcing, I would definitely bid three diamonds.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it's like a normal three diamond bid anyway.
I do too. I mean, I keep telling my kids that we want to choose to bid that shows as much as possible but our hand. Now, to bid three hearts shows the sixth heart, but that's only one extra card, and we show six cards in our hand. If we bid three diamonds, we're showing at least 9 and very probably 10 cards of our hand. So, yeah, I agree with you. But he did get the diamonds in there anyway, because he went 3 no trumps from east, pass. 4 diamonds from north, and now preference to 4 hearts. So he got the diamonds in. I mean, that was okay.
He did, yeah. It was a little bit of a miracle that he got the diamonds in, but he did get the diamonds in, I agree.
Yeah. And now there was a horrible accident in the play. I don't know if you saw this, but the ace of clubs was led, which he ruffed in 4 hearts.
Yeah,
and as we can see, he can pitch a spade like you did in 5 diamonds on the king of clubs. So he could have made an overtrick here by just losing the ace of spades and the ace of hearts, right?
He cashed the king of clubs throwing a spade and now played a heart to the 8.
And he lost to singleton 10. But what happened then was that he lost control. He lost trump control.
Yeah.
Because now he's getting forced. But anyway, so you picked up 600 at your table and your teammates got 500. So that was an absolutely massive, was it 16?
No, it was a big swing. 15 to sort of keep us alive, really. You know, the match was
because
looking
you were down. You were
point.
down most of the match, actually. You were down going into the second set.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next hand now, we'll stay in quarter 2 and this time look at board 29. By which point the Cope team have caught up a little and are now only 10 imps behind on 49 to 59.
I held the north hand and I opened 1 heart, and Pactman sitting east overcalled 1 spade.
Normal, yeah?
Yeah, it looks pretty normal.
Some people bid 2 hearts, surely?
Yeah, Kevin bid 2 hearts as south, which looks again pretty normal. And Zatorsky in the west seat bid 2 spades. So my guess is the first round of the auction probably would be duplicated at like every table of sort of a top class event.
Indeed, it was at the other table, yeah.
Yeah.
What happened now? Now it's interesting.
Now I had some interesting choices. I mean, my hand, it's only 12 high card points, but they've bid and raised spades. So I know Kevin's got at most 2 spades.
Yep.
And I mean, game could be really good. I mean, if partner had like a club fit with me, say he had the queen of clubs
and the ace of hearts.
Ace of hearts. I mean, you're not far away from making 4 hearts opposite that, although perhaps if you make 4 hearts on that, they make 4 spades. But I wanted to make a bid that involved partner.
Yep.
I felt like I could bid 4 clubs here to show I'm bidding 4 hearts and I've got hearts and clubs to help partner judge what to do at the 5 level. But I didn't think I really had enough points to sort of force the game. So I just settled for 3 clubs.
Yeah.
So showing hearts and clubs. And now Pactman made, I guess, a good bid, to be honest with you. Maybe a bit pushy, but he bid 3 diamonds.
Yeah, I was going to say he kind of would like to make a little bit of an invitation. So either double or 3 diamonds. So I think it's a double myself because of just the high card structure. But okay, 3 diamonds is fine.
Yeah, I don't know what their agreements are about double, but he bid 3 diamonds.
Yep.
And now Kevin, I mean, what should Kevin do with his hand? He's got some good news in that he's got the Queen of Clubs, but he has 2 high card points in my 2 suits.
Yeah.
King of
I
Diamonds,
think I
King
would
10
say
diamonds.
I don't think I would bid over 3 diamonds myself. What did Kevin do?
Yeah, so Kevin passed.
Yeah.
And Zatorsky.
Hey, he's got a 4-spade bid now.
Yeah, I think he did bid 4 spades.
Yeah.
He might have bid 4 diamonds or so. I think he just bid 4 spades. I think he just settled for 4 spades.
Yeah, 4 diamonds is fine as well, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, and that ended the auction. I mean, nobody did anything else. And in a sense, we probably did wrong, because in an ideal world, we would save him 5 clubs for 500 if 4 spades is making.
Yeah.
But nobody really knew who was making what on this hand.
No, of course not.
It's very hard for us.
And I don't believe you could beat it either. I mean, I know that Kevin led the 9 of hearts, which held the trick, and you played a 4. Did you think you wanted a diamond ruff or not?
Yeah, I actually thought I wanted a diamond ruff, because, I mean, on a bad day, Kevin could just have the ace of spades and nothing else in terms of high cards, and then we're just beating it by getting a diamond ruff.
Yeah. Did you think that you indicated the diamond ruff with the 4 of hearts in any way?
Yeah, I hoped I had. Certainly when it went 9 low 8. I mean, Kevin knew that either I started with ace, king, queen, jack, 4, in which case I've let him hold the trick why did I let him hold the trick? Or I've asked for a diamond. And sure enough, Kevin did switch to a diamond.
He did, absolutely. It didn't matter because you were roughing with your natural trump trick as it happened. But I don't think you can beat the hand.
I don't think so.
Even if you switch to spade at some point, I think he can always get his 2 club ruffs in dummy, I believe. Because he can go back once with the ace of hearts and once with the diamond towards hand.
And to be honest, he could also, I mean, if we shift to a spade, if I overtake the first heart and shift to a spade, he could win and play a diamond as well.
Yes.
Probably.
Yes,
I mean,
yes, so the spade has to come from your hand, otherwise you're squandering your spade trick completely. So but when he ducks the first,
I don't know, maybe it kind of felt like a bad result at our table, in that I wasn't convinced we could do anything about it, but I thought the auction had gone very well to get them to game, and maybe we could have got to a position where we could have put them under more pressure or something like that. But
I don't think you can do anything. But of course, it's never nice to have this minus 620 on the card. You never know if it's going to be bid, and you're not also certain if it's always making. So no, absolutely, it's not a nice 620. Can we have a look at what happened at the other table quickly? If there was somewhat less bidding, so as you correctly said, the auction started as it would at any good table: a heart, a spade, 2 hearts from south, and 2 spades from west. So that was all the same. And here, Nick Lecuyer decided to bid 3 hearts. There's nothing wrong with that, but he bid 3 hearts, and Finn Kolesnik sold out, which looks to me slightly passive. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I think it's, you could view it as slightly passive, but I actually chatted, I remember at lunch, to Finn a little bit about this hand, because he was sort of, giving himself a bit of a hard time about it. And I remember saying, look, maybe you went a bit low, but looking at his hand, it's not that likely you make a game, right?
No.
And it kind of feels like a hand that you don't want to sort of play in 3 spades. You either want to defend 3 hearts, because you've got ace, king, ace, ace, and partners bid freely, or you want to bid a game your way, because sort of getting to 3 spades might go down when 3 hearts was going down. At least if you bid 4 spades, you're trying for the sort of magical 620.
I agree with that. But on the other hand, to me, the hand has got about an ace more than you could have done. So I'm pretty certain I would try a double on the east hand. And I also have this policy, which good players before me have taught me, that I don't gamble on defending if I don't feel I've bid to my own optimal contract yet. So I tend not to gamble on defending when I think we can make something. So I feel that a double would get partly to do the right thing most of the time. How do you feel about that?
Certainly. Yeah, I certainly think Finn could have doubled. Like I feel like it's a hand. Should have doubled. I don't know. I don't think it's like a crime to pass and defend, but I think it's like, Yeah, he certainly could. I mean, I'm certain he will not have liked minus 140 at his table. He'll that even less
for sure.
than we liked minus 620.
And also, it's not clear what Ish would have done if Finn had doubled. The Ish doesn't have an easy bid either.
No, it's not. Although Ish probably is starting to think, okay, what's going on this hand? They've bid a third heart. When they bid a third heart, unless they're sort of really poor players, which Lequier obviously
and partner's
is not.
got a singleton heart very often.
Yeah, either partner's got a singleton heart, in which case your hand's looking really good.
Yeah.
Or maybe the hand on on Ish's left is like 5-5, in which case it's most likely hearts and clubs, in which case your singleton club might be golden for partner. I don't know.
And you are playing teams and you are vulnerable.
I think if Finn had doubled, I suspect Ish would have, they're an action pair as well. I mean, he's not going to play 3 spades. I'm sure Ish would have bid 4 spades.
I agree. I mean, why guess that there's exactly 9 tricks there when there's possible to make 620 if you make a bit of an overbid?
Yeah.
Okay, so against 3 hearts anyway, Finn led top spade.
Yeah, which looks
but he, of course, he had no idea that Leclerc had 5 clubs on the side, so he had very little chance of finding the winning defense, I think, which is a club switch to partner singleton ace. He can then give partner 2 club profs and take 200, which still going to lose the board as it happens. But he instead tried to underlead ace of diamonds at trick 2, and that produced a rather funny...
The only thing I would say about this is when he laid down the ace of spades, partner discouraged, right? They play the 8, they play upside down attitude.
Right, okay.
So why not now cash the king of spades to get a suit preference signal from partner?
Yes.
I mean, if he played the king of... If he plays the king of spades, Ish will play the 2.
Yeah.
Asking for a club, and now he can shift to a club. And he can shift to a club like a low club if he thinks that's suit preference or whatever. But say he shifts to a club and it doesn't matter what Ish plays, they're going to score ace, king of spades, ace of hearts, ace of clubs and a club ruff.
Yes.
So at least they shoot.
He could cash the king of spades, but after that he might also play partner for a doubleton diamond, which is one of the things he had in his mind right now. I mean, North could easily have had 5 hearts and 4 diamonds, and he's playing for the slow diamond draft by starting diamonds.
Yeah.
But getting a suit preference seems like an excellent idea. Thanks, Simon.
Yeah.
Anyway, this produced a rather funny trick when Leclerc tried the king of diamonds just in case, and he held the trick. And after that, of course, he only lost.
He just had a spade around suit and spade.
So he made 140, which he will have been rather pleasantly surprised by and rather happy with for sure.
Yes,
big swing to the street team on that board.
Yeah.
Join us again for the second in this mini-series, where Simon and Nick will look at 2 more great hands from the final. And don't forget, in the meantime, if you'd like to support our work, you can do so at www.patreon.com/ntbridge.